But now they find out their white hat king, King Donald, is the pedophile, quite possibly. And that's why my article is our national security apparatus. He has control of 4,500 atomic bombs.
Yeah. He's the most
and it's
obvious.
Being controlled by a guy who's demented.
The most obvious blackmailable human on the planet, right?
Oh my God. Good morning. Man, what a show you've had thus far.
Yeah. Well, thank you, sir. Well,
cow.
I was just handed this piece. I haven't had time to read yet, but I sure will be reading your Substack later. Does a pedophile lead America's national security apparatus? Nance's law says coincidence takes a lot of planning, so Pam Bondi coincidentally erasing the Epstein case in its files is a sign that Trump has planned on hiding something very, very serious. Well, I think that's obvious to just about everyone now, don't you think? Even the MAGA sphere.
Yeah, well, when I get to the point where I have to comment on it about national security implications of this, this is very, very serious. And this is why, listen, if you guys haven't subscribed to my Substack, you can do it for free. Yep. Trying to hit 100,000 followers. Do that, because at the beginning of this, I mentioned the first time that I saw human trafficking. And it was in Italy in 1984. And it was a 14-year-old Russian girl that was off a cruise ship. And it was very clearly she was being sold by her grandmother. And if it wasn't for the intervention of the Italian Carabinieri, literally rushing up to take the Italian pedophile that bought her off of that ship, she would have been sold and was probably being sold on that Russian cruise ship. And what struck me about this story was I did not think of that story until Donald Trump and Pam Bondi pulled this whole, there's nothing to see here. There's no list, which we know is laughable. It's not, perhaps there's not a list, but there are all the people who were implicated, who are involved, and whom Jeffrey Epstein charged, brought there, gave massages to. There's hundreds.
Yeah.
The question is who's involved. And now we know this, Donald Trump wants to bury this because this is stupid. He is super deep into this.
Obviously.
So as I said, Pam Bondi, who, by the way, Attorney General while Epstein's place was being raided, wants to suddenly erase this.
Yeah.
MAGA itself does not allow.
He has put it in the category of Trump Russia now, a hoax written by Democrats, which, falls apart, does not pass anybody's laugh test, even MAGA. No. I mean, you reposted, Chris Webb said, this is too good. Trump thinks the Epstein conspiracy crowd he created is stupid, weak, and not worth his support anymore. He built that monster, fed it red meat for years, and now he wants to act like it's beneath him. I mean, this is. And I guess we get. You quoted Joe Rogan is talking about the videotape. I mean, this is the most hand-handed cover-up ever, right? The what they said was raw footage, was obviously edited. Stuff is missing. I mean,
sure.
Yeah.
Well, if you go read my article, you'll see that I brought it back to some of its origins. Of why Trump got elected, and that's QAnon. The QAnon crazy conspiracy theory, which is supposedly some super spy in the government who is out to bring down the pedophiles that were running the Democratic Party, Hollywood, the liberal elite, were supposedly kidnapping 300,000 children a year. By the way, Trump referenced that number last week, trying to draw this to the Democrats. And we're killing them, drinking their blood, and giving immortality to Hillary Clinton. That is what the QAnon conspiracy theory is about. And Trump was supposedly this white hat who had taken over government and was going to expose the entire pedophile machine. We have been hearing Republicans call Democrats pedophiles for years, even though hundreds of them have been arrested since January. And being involved in that. But now they find out their white hat king, King Donald, is the pedophile, quite possibly. And that's why my article is our national security apparatus. He has control of 4,500 atomic bombs.
Yeah. He's the most
and
obvious.
Being controlled by a guy who's demented.
The most obvious blackmailable human on the planet, right?
Oh, my God.
I mean, and you retweeted Adam Kinzinger, but this was a couple days ago. He said that the Epstein story won't bring down MAGA, but the cracks it's revealing in Trump's base just might. While MAGA influencers chase conspiracies, voters are turning on Trump over tariffs, immigration crackdowns, brutal budget cuts. 2026 could be a GOP rout. That he clearly is panicking, right?
Yeah, he's panicking. But listen, none of you bank on a 2026 route. As you know, I don't want to spoil the lead here on my article, but if a fraction of this stuff is true, if we really verified Jeffrey Epstein and Trump's behaviors, there was that whole thing of his chief operating officer of his casino the other day on CNN saying how he had under casino-aged girls, 19-year-old girls, in the casino when the casino commission came in and identified them as people that shouldn't have been in the building. There is loads more to this. But more importantly, the cover-up is worse than the crime, to quote Watergate.
There you go.
And now he expects magic pixie dust to be spread, and none of this ever happened. Jeffrey Epstein killed himself for nothing. He was never indicted by the guy who's the labor secretary, protected by the Attorney General of the United States currently. And Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison for nothing because there was no list.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm glad MAGA is cracking up over this.
Yep.
Because now they get to do that choice. There is a good cartoon I saw yesterday, which is a guy at a fork in the road.
Yep.
And on the left, it says, the liberals were right. And on the right, it says, cover up for pedophiles.
Yeah.
I'm afraid they're going to go to the right.
Yeah. Well, exactly. I mean, we are at the fork in the road. I mean, and you're right, Malcolm. It just makes no sense from the get. So the Trump administration convicted Ghislaine Maxwell, put her in jail for trafficking girls to nobody. I mean, for a hoax. I mean, yeah. Well, this is all too familiar to me, right? You wake up with a scratchy throat, congestion, maybe a runny nose or a cough. You know your body. You know you're getting sick. So your choices are you tough it out, you get sick, take time off from work, hope the doctor can see you this month, right? Wait 2 hours at urgent care, sit in a room full of other sick people, or you can open your medical emergency kit just like mine. I just match my symptoms to the doctor recommended prescription, start on the right meds, and I nip it in the bud right now. This is not a first aid kit. It comes with doctor-prescribed meds to treat dozens of common and serious medical issues, strong antibiotics for infections of all types, strep throat, pneumonia, UTIs, bronchitis, and a lot more. Plus, a doctor's easy guide so you know exactly what to take and when. No waiting to see the doctor, no waiting at the pharmacy. All my meds are right here in my kit. Every home should have at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in just minutes. Your kit will be rushed to your door. Get $45 off at urgentcarekit.com/Stephanie. The promo code is Stephanie. Don't forget promo code Stephanie at urgentcarekit.com/Stephanie.